Welcome, dear viewers, to a very special night and a very distinctive guest. Tonight we'll be talking about the victory, of course, of the 6th of October, which is a base actually for continuous victory. October comes every year to remind us of the men who crossed the bridges that were made of impossible. They freed Egypt from the darkness of defeat and gave it the light of victory. October comes every year to remind us all that October victory isn't only a story of success, but it's a series of victories spanning over 50 years across the motherland. October victory was just the beginning of 50 years of victories that are full of bridges that were made of impossible being destroyed. They were being destroyed through the achievements of the people, the Egyptians themselves, and among them, achievements of the new republic. Then the new Suez Canal, the developments in the energy sector. We have also many other bridges that has been crossed. Of course, the bridges made of impossible destroyed throughout the last years was the removal of the misery known as the slums, replacing them with the decent houses and the smart cities across the state, providing healthy lifestyle and job opportunities along extending the road networks and more. So tonight we are going to be speaking of the victory, a very important occasion. His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi had attended earlier Wednesday, and we brought you live the cultural symposium. And this year we have a very important slogan called Abur, Inqaz, Ingaz. So we made the crossing, and the crossing led to our rescue and led that we have been able to achieve a lot. And this important cultural symposium was organized by the armed forces and held as part of the celebrations of the 50th anniversary of the October War victory. President attended the armed forces cultural symposium and saluted the heroes of Ras al-Aish battle, asking the attendees to stand up for them as a kind of respect and appreciation. The president also saluted General Ahmed Shawqi despite his absence for health concerns, and greeted members of the commandos team, saying that their names would be written in gold and their patriotic sense and sacrifices will always be remembered. President Sisi also stressed the significance of the October War victory as being a day of pride and a day of honor, that the president said proven that the Egyptians' capability to achieve the impossible in the hardest times. Sisi also said that Egypt succeeded to rebuild its army during the period from 1967 till 1973, pointing out that the 6th of October, Glory Day, would always be engraved not only in Egypt's history, but also in the history of the entire Arab nation. The president honored a number of armed forces heroes of October War victory. And the president praised the patriotic sense and role of the armed forces, as well as the late President Muhammad Anwar al-Sadat. Tonight, with our very distinctive guest, Mr. Sherif Fakhry, our strategic analyst and expert tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Fakhry, on a memorable night, as I said.
Yes.
And many happy returns to you and all our dear Egyptians on the occasion of celebrating the 50th anniversary of October victory.
Yes, of course.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, we'll be shedding light on the victory, how the glorious October War is viewed today, and how it paves the way for tomorrow's and today's achievements and tomorrow's achievements as well, and victories on the different levels. Let's watch the report. Marking the 50th anniversary, the Golden Jubilee of the 6th of October War victory, while many messages were delivered today, earlier in the day, it was a beautiful symposium this year, Your Excellency, Mr. Fakhry. Well, the President actually saluted the October War victory martyrs, and it's always a very important occasion to remember the veterans, to remember our sense of determination, to remember the victory that has been like a sense of a breakthrough that led to other victories on the ground.
Yes, of course. And you know, for sure, it's a different message for different people. So we have outside message for people who are living abroad and for other countries to remind them that we are capable of doing something. It was impossible almost for us to achieve something like this, especially after a very dark time we spent since 1967 until the one and only, honestly, Arab victory in the modern era. So this is the first message that we'd like to talk to people outside the country. And the second message is for the young generation, which is they never been, living such beautiful moments, which we have. We had these moments. I remember I was at that time maybe at school, and I remember how we received this. So our new generation, they don't know exactly what October victory means for us. So this is the second message, which is very important. The third message, which I think is the most important one, is for the people who achieve this victory. So I'm happy that we cover all of these, messages to everyone that what happened during this, how we crossed this bridge. And it's not just crossing the Suez Canal. We're crossing even, mentally and physically, barriers, which sometimes it's internal barriers, which we don't know how we can cross this. So people goes to this, spirit, this atmosphere of victory. So I'm so happy that we are celebrating this today.
Yes, yes, definitely. Celebrating Egypt's victory, the 50th anniversary, a very dear occasion to every Egyptian, and from a battle and a victory to another battle for Egypt, the battle for construction and the battle for development and achieving the new republic. This has been another challenge. But for Egyptians who always have the sense of determination and perseverance, when they are adamant to do it, they achieve it.
Yes, exactly. And this is also a lesson for us that without such victory, we cannot cross this, psychologically, that we cannot cross it physically, definitely, for sure. So I think now our big battle now is a battle of internal development, of decent life for people after you restore your dignity, your integrity in a war like October 1973. This is a big challenge for us, is internal, development of a modern country after we have peace now for a long time. So I think this is a message also for people that we are capable. If we would like to do something, we will do it.
Yes. Also, like boosting the Egyptian morale, it has been very important for the victory to transform our psychological state, boosting our morale with positivity among the different challenges has been a great outcome of the victory.
Of course.
For Egyptians as a whole.
Definitely. When we hear the success stories of people that time, what challenges they face there the time, and how they cross this, and how they achieve the victory, what kind of sacrifices they did. All of this stuff means that this is a message that inside every Egyptian person there is the power to cross this one. Just we need somebody to provoke this, somebody to get it out. So we put trust in people. So I think this is the main mission now for us, for the new generations, that if we did that, we are capable of doing also the same success in our internal battle to develop our country.
Yes.
And move forward.
Yes. We can never, of course, forget the movies that had depicted that great victory. And I remember my interview with the megastar, superstar Hussein Fahmy, when he told me in the backstage when they were filming الرصاصة لا تزال في جيبي and more. Well, those are the works, or the drama work, the songs like Bismillah that we just aired, and also Wardas ala Rababa. All those are like imprinted in there. When October comes and they like float once again, very inspiring, aren't they?
Yeah, in my opinion, soft power of Egypt is one of the most, important power for Egypt. And for sure, all of us enjoyed that time. I remember we all have seen these movies. We remember the songs in that time, the words even. Every single word have a meaning in our time. But the thing now, we have a different stage. So with a new technology, with a new media, through transformation in filming, business, all of it. And you can, of course, we cannot, there is two important things happened recently. Number one, Israel released some documents about October because it is 50 years anniversary. So some of them are, maybe live movies from the victory, what happened, which is very important to see what the other parties say about this war. And second, they release also a movie which make a big propaganda, which is Golda. Maybe it's a famous movie now, maybe it's not yet comes to Egypt. But this movie, it explains to what extent this is like, a certificate from your enemy that they are really in a real panic. The military leaders collapsed. They don't know what to do. They cannot expect that Egyptian people will do this. It's something with, denial stage. They cannot believe it. It's happening. And I was surprised, honestly, when I have seen the movie, that the movie was to some extent neutral. And he describes that they are defeated by Egyptian people, and it was a great victory, and it was a big surprise for them, which is great. But I think we need to cover the other parts of some stuff which they pass it, or they make it in a different way. We know the truth. So why not? And for example, internationally now, film networks like Netflix and this stuff, we need to exist on this, stage with an international standard, which world can listen to us. This is a kind of movies I would love to see, because I think October Victory have many stories which is not covered yet. So I think it's time now to start covering some of this. Especially the stage is open now for you to tell the people what the truth, what's happening exactly.
Yes, and the soft power during October War Victory did succeed in boosting the Egyptians' morale. It was like the eternal voice of anchors during that time, of singers like the icon Warda, for instance, and Ala Rababa and more. Soft power had a great impact during the victory. We even named it like the victory songs. Why not enjoy Warda?
Exactly. By the way, we keep listening to this. Even some songs I remember. Of course, there's many songs about October songs, but one of the songs was for Suad Hosni, maybe. When it's Dolamin, it was a nice, nice words. That this is a normal people having such a great victory, fantastic victory, and those are normal people. They are the sons of farmers and labor, and which is have a different meanings, different from other songs.
Yes.
This is some normal people making abnormal and outstanding achievement. This is a point, this is a message which we should deliver, honestly, to the young generation.
Yes, definitely. Let's enjoy a flashback of October victory songs. Ala Rabab. Always Tahya Masr, long live Egypt. Well, Dr. Fakhry, talking about many initiatives, actually, and many challenges that Egypt has managed to achieve, like the Decent Life Initiative. Of course, this is one of the main crossings of the new republic, and also being able to control the slums and transform people's lives to a better quality of life.
Definitely. And in my opinion, this is one of the biggest and the greatest achievement for the government. The Decent Life, first of all, it's the first time people look at the people living in Upper Egypt, which some of them are living really below the standard. So for sure they need just to have a look what's going on. So I think this was something first time to happen. I think the president himself, he followed up what's going on in this, in all this, all aspects of the people's. But I am, in my opinion, I think that the success factors of this project that we have to, first of all, maintain the funding for this project is very important, and to have a very specific mandate, because we would like this to reflect on the people's life.
Yes.
And number three, we need to measure the impact, what the social impact on people on this. I think with these three factors, success factors, with what we are doing, I think this is one of the biggest projects maybe worldwide, because we're talking about tens of millions will benefit out of this. And you are totally changing people's life. And I think when we look at some pictures before and after for people living in the slums, and now they found clean houses, they found, playgrounds for kids to play, they found the places to pray, they find a church and mosque. And we always, President, insists that if you have a mosque, you should have a church next to it. They have hospitals, they have some clinics, they have schools. So this is like creating a new communities for people which they are almost living in a different environment. Like we have two Egypt. This is hidden Egypt, nobody knows about it. So we put this hidden Egypt on top, and we start fixing this situation. So I'm really, I think this can be considered one of the best projects for the government, and we should maintain such success by keeping these success factors.
Yes, today was actually a lovely evening where His Excellency had honored, as we can see here in the footage, excerpts from the celebration, the October War veterans. Yes. We definitely remember them. Without them, we wouldn't have been achieving anything like the Second Crossing or the New Republic or the establishments. Through their blood and through their sacrifices, we managed to make the crossing.
For sure. Definitely, for sure. And when we saw them and see this is, sometimes we need, a model. Sometimes we need a success story for
yes.
people. So if those people are capable of doing this with such very hard circumstances and, sacrifices their lives, at least anybody who is sacrificing of something, it's nothing compared with the sacrifices which happened during this October War, for sure.
Yeah, October War as a war, it was a war for peace building.
Yes.
And this is considered to be a main component. And Egypt is working for peace.
I think from the day one, when we read, I like to read more about the history of October victory. Yani honestly, that time, President Sadat, even people who disagree with him in his opinion, but end of the day, the achievement which he made, it was fantastic. Yes. Yani even some people disagree. This decision, it shouldn't be taken in that time. But he have, I think, a different vision.
Far-sighted vision.
Yes, I think he have far-sighted vision, and he's looking exactly as you said. End of the day, peace should be our aim of this war. You cannot destroy the other party. So we think that we don't want. I still remember President Sadat when he's laughing with Golda Meir, and she's confessed that, Mr. President, I'm happy that old woman like me, as you always say, you remember that, and he always said, I'm an old woman. And President Sadat is laughing, and he said, yes, I'm always saying, you're an old woman. And he said, I'm happy that I survived to that day. I can see the peace between the two countries. With all my, so definitely we have to, acknowledge the other party rights to live in peace. We have to, if we have a chance, definitely to get whatever we can from our land, from a new entity for Palestine. So I think President Sadat was more pragmatic. I think this is my opinion. And after 50 years of this war now, if people come to assess his decisions, I think he was right in many of these decisions.
Yes, October War victory has been a victory that is actually carved in the conscience of all Egyptians. There are many lessons learned from October War victory while we are celebrating the Golden Jubilee, perhaps the cohesion of the people, the support of the people, their support for the leadership is another key and a magic stick to achieving victory.
It's a trust.
This sense of unity.
Yes, I think it's a matter of, as I just said, now, trust of leadership, this is something it's a key issue for everybody.
Yeah.
We trust our leadership at the time. So because we believe in him, people follow him. And some people even they disagree with him, but later on they discovered he was right. So I think we need to have the same now. You have to believe in your leadership. that if we are capable of making such great success before, we can do it now again. Before we make it by war, now we can make it by peace. And also there's some stuff, now maybe some people said, oh, okay, why we have such, infrastructure between Egypt and Sinai? Because we would like Sinai to be a part of Egypt. We don't want Sinai to be an isolated island or part of, very difficult to go here and there. So now we are making a huge investment for infrastructure for people to live in Sinai, because this is a very precious part of Egypt. So I think it deserves all what we spent for infrastructure, for roads, for tunnels, for all of this stuff.
Yes, the mega projects and the developmental projects, the youth are definitely part of the success story. Once again, back to the point that you raised, Dr. Fakhry, concerning the lessons learned that should be directed to the youth today, that who had not witnessed actually the war itself, but perhaps they would live many years to learn from what sort of great memories and impact that it left.
I think this is our role now. We should tell them what exactly our position and what exactly the transition which happened after this war, before and after. What kind of respect now we are facing worldwide. When, as I told you, people, admit that you succeed, you did a great job. It was a big surprise for us. We have panic, all of this. It's like, a great success story for you. So this is, for sure, it's indirect message to the new generation that if your fathers and grandfathers, they are capable of doing that, you are capable of doing something also, something better, something bigger, but in a different field. So I think that we have to keep telling them what's going on, telling them the truth about this. Some facts, of course, have to be released and tell them, okay, we have to learn from our, even there is minor mistakes or something, we have to learn from our mistakes and to adjust what's going on, because it's not a matter of a big war, it's small battles. Each of these battles have, stuff to talk about and to discuss and to learn.
Yes. Well, we have here a struggle for transforming the realities of defeat into victory and pain into glory and pride. And this is actually the core of the 6th of October war. It's a victory in all sense of the word. And amidst the different global challenges that we face today, I think that through the spirit of October, we can definitely be able to overcome lots of challenges.
Yes, I think for sure. I remember when I was attended JITEX, IDEX, I'm sorry, not JITEX, IDEX, which about, defense exhibition and all was made in UAE, and we hosted here in Egypt for a few times. One of the things, maybe you cannot compete some people in organizing event or something, but because we have a real war, such a huge, logistics happened in a few hours. This was a dramatic, lessons for many people to learn and to see what's going on. So when we talk about this one, I think it's a pride not only for Egyptian people, it's for Egyptian people, for Arab countries. That's why when we talk about people, about this is really the one and only, victory for Arabs in the, modern era. This is something which we have to, up till now, still people, having lessons from this war and teaching their military academies how this happened, how Egyptian people did that. And when you go to details, you find this is not something happened by coincidence or haphazard. No, there is a planning for this, and everybody have a specific role, and there is control, there is communication, and we learn from our mistakes, I think, to have such a great victory.
Yes, it is a great victory. We're still celebrating on Night TV International and celebrating, of course, throughout the whole month of October. Mr. Sherif Fakhry, our strategic expert for tonight, thank you so much for coming on a glorious day of celebration.
Thank you so
much. And especially after we enjoyed together all the proceedings of the Cultural Symposium, honored by the attendance of the President.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I thank you, dear viewers, for joining us. Celebrations of October victory continue here in Egypt, and the pain is over. The glory and the sense of respect and honor for the martyrs continue during this important month, and a memory that is cherished in the hearts of all Egyptians. I'm Taghrit Hussein. Many thanks for watching.